little dragon or something going on. Oh my god. How's everybody doing in Classified Captures world? Now this is gonna be a great episode, so don't you go anywhere. I'm Steve, and this is... Now I've got in the studio, we can go through some footage and see what it is. But before we do that, I gotta say, thank you very much indeed for all the people who wanted shout-outs in the last video. They will be coming in the next video, so look out for those. Anyway, let's get on. The pilot was mid-flight when they spotted something in the sky and started recording. When they zoomed in, it looked like a saucer-shaped craft with a dark steel finish. As they tried to get closer, the image turns blurry and then the footage just cuts off. That is all we get. No follow-up, no extra context, which makes this tricky. Are we looking at something unknown or just a well-made AI clip? With this little to go on, it could go either way. A man was driving away from his property when he noticed something off. The door and windows of his shed were open. He turned his camera toward it and caught what looked like someone inside shutting the door and moving deeper in. He ran over, calling out. No response. Inside the shed was just tools, equipment, and a ladder leading up to the attic. He didn't dare climb up, so he stayed below, shouting toward the top. Then he heard something. He stepped back and scanned the room, and that's when he noticed the ceiling lights broken and swinging. But earlier when he first walked in, that same light was perfectly intact. Something happened in between. Some people think it's staged, the camera was already rolling at the perfect moment. But if it's not, then what was in that shed and what exactly broke that light?
Hey there. Yo. Come on, man. I'm calling the police. If somebody is in here, the police will be here in 5 minutes. Do you hear me? And you Hey, come on. You're done. I'm telling you.
Man. I mean, you'd hope to hell it was real, wouldn't you? I mean, it's obviously not, but, if only. And a little dragon or something going on as well. I mean, it's just frustrating sometimes. You can open up Gemini and within a click of 1 minute create something like this just by asking it to, so why can't these things be real? Is it me or am I the only one that gets really, really freaked out by this stuff? I mean, it's real. It's real. It's a freak of nature, a two-headed turtle, but yeah, forget it, man. What's happening with the world? There seems to be a lot of creatures like this these days. Tell me I'm wrong.
Want to fight. Anyway, I thought I'd take a moment and show you this unique creature. It's done very well. I was able to get it from a zoo that was closing down. Funny enough, called the Reptiles. The same thing as our name is. So anyway, is that cool or what?
What would you think if you looked out of your window at night and saw this? Someone living on the top floor of an apartment building was looking down at the street when they noticed a figure stepping out of an alleyway. At first it seemed normal, but when they zoomed in, something felt off immediately. The proportions didn't match a normal human. This figure looked far too tall, possibly around 8 or 9 feet when compared to the surrounding buildings. The person filming became unsettled and stopped recording right away, so we never see what happens next. What we do see is even more disturbing. The legs are clearly moving in a natural walking motion, not floating, not glitching, just walking. which makes it harder to dismiss as a trick of light or a strange shadow. It looks human-shaped, but the proportions don't add up. So what exactly was walking out of that alley? Now this one is a bit harder to pin down. The footage was reportedly posted on Truth Social. It circulated for a while before being taken down. We never saw it while it was still up, so what we have now comes from second-hand accounts and clips that resurfaced after the fact. In the video, a group of people are standing outside at night near a body of water. 4 figures in red dresses are standing together. They have pale skin and white hair, almost like they're dressed in some kind of uniform. Off to the side, there's a man in a suit who resembles Donald Trump, with what looks like a bodyguard standing behind him. Online reactions have focused heavily on the 4 figures in red. Many people are saying they don't look human at all. The problem is, without the original upload, it's hard to verify what we're actually looking at or where it came from. Has anyone here actually seen this footage before it disappeared? Have you heard about Brandon Swanson and his disappearance back in May 2008? It's one of those missing person cases that still feels unsettling. Late one night, he drove his car into a ditch and called his parents to come pick him up. And while he was on the phone, he tried guiding them to his location. But when they arrived in the area, they couldn't find him or his car anywhere nearby. They agreed to meet at a closer spot instead. That's when Brandon said he could see flashing lights in the distance and started walking toward them. The last thing his parents heard was a quiet, "Oh shit," and then the call went dead. He was never found. Some believe he simply got lost in the dark and something tragic happened after that. Others point to the flashing lights he mentioned, suggesting they could have been bog lights or will-o'-the-wisps, strange natural light phenomenon that have been reported for centuries in open and marshy areas. There are even theories that the lights were not natural at all, with some suggesting something far more unknown behind them. So what do you think those lights really were? This next one comes from Brazil. A man filming at night noticed 2 figures walking along a hillside near a body of water. At first, they just looked like people in the distance, but as the camera zoomed in, something felt off. Both figures are humanoid in shape, but extremely pale, almost white. One appears to have their hair tied back, while the other looks completely bald. They're also tall and very slender compared to an average person. But what stands out most is how calmly they move across the hill. No hesitation, no reaction, almost as if they're not aware they're being watched. So what were these 2 really doing out there? Animals tend to be far more intelligent than we usually give them credit for. This clip shows a sea lion playing a video game, and yes, that's exactly what it looks like. It's part of the U.S. Navy Marine Mammal Program, where games are designed specifically for these animals to interact with. And the interesting part is they're not forced to do it. Many of them actually choose to participate. And when they win, this particular sea lion even does a little celebration that's surprisingly expressive. Sea lions are not alone in this. Dolphins have been trained to recognize and respond to touchscreen patterns. Certain primates, like chimpanzees, have also shown they can outperform humans in short-term memory tests using number sequences on a screen. Even birds like African gray parrots have demonstrated basic addition skills through digital number games. When you see animals interacting with technology like this, it raises a simple question. How much intelligence have we been underestimating them all along? We have all had that moment of curiosity about what the neighbors are up to. Nothing creepy, just a natural glance. This woman lives in an apartment complex and can see straight into her neighbor's dining room across the building. The lights were on, and the windows were open. Inside, she saw a full dinner setup. Plates of food, candles lit, wine poured, everything looked ready for a meal. But nobody was sitting at the table. At first, she didn't think much of it, just an empty dinner setting. But when she looked again later, something had changed. The food on the plates had clearly gone down. The strange part is that she never saw anyone enter the room, no movement, no guests, no one is sitting down to eat. Yet the meal kept disappearing bit by bit. So how does that even happen? Online reactions have been split. Some people say it's staged or misinterpreted footage. Others think she may have witnessed something far stranger, like a so-called ghost dinner party or something unseen moving through the room. And without a clear explanation, the question just hangs there. What really happened in that dining room? There's a long-running theory in conspiracy circles that big pharmaceutical companies may have already have a cure for cancer, but choose not to release it because long-term treatment is more profitable than a single cure. It sounds extreme, but stories like this are part of why the idea keeps circulating. This man with no medical background reportedly used ChatGPT to help research treatment options for his dog's cancer. His dog had been given only a few months to live, and standard treatments were not shrinking the tumor. So he began digging deeper, using ChatGPT as a research guide, which eventually led him to a lab that helped him develop an experimental vaccine based on the dog's own DNA. After it was administered, the tumor reportedly shrank by about half. Now the question people keep asking is simple. If one person with no formal training can reach results like this through research and persistence, why have decades of professional cancer research not produced more cases like it in humans? The answer may be far less dramatic than the conspiracy suggests. Human cancer is not one condition but many, and what works in one isolated case does not easily scale. Still, stories like this continue to fuel the bigger debate. What do you think is really going on here? Police rushed to an empty road in the middle of the night after reports of a serious accident. When they arrived, they found a woman inside the crashed car. The damage looked severe, but she appeared completely unharmed, and something felt off right away. When officers asked her to step out, she didn't respond normally. Instead, she reached for a bag of chips, held it up, and showed it to them as if nothing was wrong. They managed to get a name and ran it through the system, and that's when things turned disturbing. The name matched a woman who had died in a car accident at that exact location 3 years earlier. Same face, same identity, same details. And yet she was sitting right there in front of them. As the officers tried to process what was happening and get her out of the vehicle, they noticed something even stranger. Her eyes began to shift, both of them sliding sideways towards the edge of her head. At that point, the situation became impossible to make sense of, and the officers eventually backed off and left the scene. Now, some people point to this as a possible residual haunting where events repeat in a loop at the same location. Others think it's something far more unknown or even a misinterpretation of what was really happening in that moment. Was this a replay of something that had already happened or something else entirely? A woman steps outside late at night to let her dog out for a quick bathroom break. Her ring camera mounted above the porch captures the entire moment. A yard opens directly onto the street in an open community where houses line both sides. While she's standing there waiting for a dog, she notices a figure running toward her from down the street. She panics and rushes back inside, leaving the dog outside barking at whatever's approaching. The figure stops right at the edge of a property. It stands there for a few seconds, then slows down and walks away. If that was all, it would already be unsettling enough. But she checks the footage afterward, hoping to identify who it was. And that's when it got worse. In the recording, the figure begins to fade as it walks away while the dog is still barking at the exact spot it'd been standing. And whatever that was, it doesn't behave like a normal person moving through space. It simply disappears into nothing. Whatever it was not a person. A man and his friend went out to film at a remote farmland in the middle of nowhere late at night, but what they captured is something they still cannot fully explain. Through night vision, something can be seen moving through the brush. The farmland is filled with tall crops roughly 7 to 9 feet high, so for anything to be visible above them, it would have had to be massive. What appears in the footage is wide shoulders and what looks like fur covering its body. It moves upright on 2 legs, and in the night vision, a pair of eyes glow back clearly from the darkness. At first glance, it doesn't quite match the usual Bigfoot descriptions people are familiar with. Because of that, some viewers are saying this could be a different kind of cryptid entirely, not the classic Sasquatch. But there is another side to the discussion. Some believe it's simply a person in a costume, intentionally staged to look like a creature in order to pass as real footage. So what are we looking at here? A known cryptid, or just a very convincing suit? This one is in broad daylight, which already makes it stand out from most of what we cover. The footage shows a man recording near a coastal road when something suddenly jumps out of the ocean and lands on the pavement right beside him. And what lands there is described as a half-human, half-fish-like creature wriggling on the ground. Now, to be fair, the footage looks convincing. It doesn't immediately read as something fake, but at the same time, we are in an era where AI-generated video can recreate this level of detail almost perfectly, so the question becomes simple. Are we looking at something that genuinely exists in the real world, or is there an extremely well-made AI clip designed to go viral? Because at this level of realism, telling the difference is getting harder than ever. Okay, out of all the places you would expect something strange to appear, France was not exactly on that list, but here we are. At this point, nothing on this channel really surprises us anymore. We've seen enough unusual footage from different parts of the world that it takes a lot to stand out. Still, this one does. The footage shows someone capturing a scenic view of a city, but up in the clouds there appears to be something unusual. When you zoom in, the shape starts to look familiar, almost like a witch riding a broomstick. The kind of silhouette you would associate with the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, the logical explanations are still on the table. It could be a drone caught at distance, it could be a cloud formation shaped by light and perspective, it could even be edited footage. But what makes it interesting is how specific the shape looks for something supposedly random. So what are we actually looking at here? A strange coincidence in the clouds, or something a little harder to explain? There's been a wave of footage lately claiming to show alien motherships appearing across the US and other parts of the world, often linked by viewers to the ongoing UFO disclosure conversation. Whether that connection is real or just timing, the clips keep circulating. This particular video comes from a woman in Fort Myers. She says she's been trying to capture one of these sightings for a while and didn't believe the reports until her own camera recorded this. And what it shows is hard to ignore. A large structure in the sky with lights running along its edges, not a small object, something that appears massive hovering above the area. So the question becomes unavoidable. Is this real, meaning something genuinely stationed above Fort Myers and possibly other cities right now? Or is this a coordinated wave of hoaxes amplified by timing and social media attention? Because at this scale, it's either multiple people staging the same illusion or something unusual is happening overhead. This one dates back to 2003, but it's still one of the most widely circulated and debated pieces of alleged alien footage. A man wakes up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water. As he walks through the house, he notices something outside his window. A figure is peeking in. It's described as a gray-like creature with a large head and the classic solid black eyes often associated with gray alien reports. Now, this clip has been dissected for over 2 decades, frame by frame, detail by detail, and even after all this time, there's still no clear agreement on what it shows. So where does that leave us? Is this one of the most convincing pieces of alleged alien footage ever recorded, or just a hoax that managed to survive long enough to become legend?
Well, oh my God, what the f*** is that? Holy shit. Oh my God, what's it doing? Holy shit. Oh man. Where the fuck did it go? Oh my God.
Now, a lot of you have probably already seen this one circulating, and the first instinct is usually to assume CGI. But this is not fake. What you are looking at is a man standing on a floating platform holding what looks like a sword. Behind him, around 30 more swords are levitating in midair, moving and responding to a device strapped to his hand. He goes by the name of Fan Scheisen, and this is a project he's been building entirely on his own since 2020. It's even gained attention beyond the internet, with Chinese officials publicly acknowledging and praising what he's created. Now, look closely at what this actually represents. This is impressive engineering on the surface, but the implications go much deeper, because the moment you imagine this kind of system in a combat setting, the tone changes completely. Floating, remotely controlled weapons responding to a single operator's hand movements is not just a demonstration, it's a battlefield concept. And technology like this is not decades away, it's already being tested in forms like this. Which leaves a difficult thought hanging in the air. Are we watching innovation or the early shape of something far more serious? In recent times, a curious phenomenon has been capturing the attention of people worldwide: mysterious blue beam projections. It raises questions about whether humanity has achieved a level of technological mastery, allowing us to manipulate light in unprecedented ways. In the present footage, a peculiar beam of light descends from the sky onto the Earth, revealing a glowing entity within it. The phenomenon has roots in conspiracy theories and has long been associated with the idea of a simulated reality or extraterrestrial manipulation. Proponents of the blue beam conspiracy suggest that powerful entities, whether governmental or otherwise, possess the capability to project holographic images onto the sky for various purposes, often linked to control and manipulation. While skepticism surrounds such claims, the persistence and recurrence of these sightings have led to increased curiosity and debate. Could what we are seeing here indeed be a blue beam projection, or is there a better explanation for it? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Back in 2014, Dennis Coleman was out in the woods when he decided to take a picture of what he thought was a tree branch using his trusty Motorola flip phone. However, right after taking the picture, he heard a strange, loud noise on his right side, which made him turn around. When he got home, he decided to take a closer look at the image he had taken and noticed that there was indeed something in the tree that he had captured. Thanks to modern tools today, he decided to upscale the image and use manual editing to adjust the contrast and balance, which resulted in the image we see today. According to Dennis, the image shows something that was not a tree branch. He believes that he might have captured an image of a Bigfoot. When the image was shared, some claimed that it was indeed a Bigfoot, while many others remained skeptical about the whole thing. Some even told him it was nothing more than a monkey. Dennis disagrees, and we can see why. Looking at the image, what do you think of it? Do you believe that Dennis might have captured an image of a Bigfoot, or is it just a monkey? Now, let's take a look at something more supernatural. This is an alleged image of Jesus Christ, the most popular and important figure in the Christian religion. In the footage, the image shows the picture of Jesus with his eyes closed, but after a while, the image opens its eyes and you will see tears coming from it when you look closely. There were some who thought this was demonic and evil. Their interpretation is rooted in a belief in the supernatural and the presence of forces beyond our comprehension. Many, however, brushed it off as a trick of the light, an optical illusion, if you may. After a second and third look, well, I'm tempted to believe this is the case. What do you guys think?
Means it's someone.
Careful, lucky. Oh, shit.
And as you can see in this chilling footage captured by a family, shows a massive snake navigating its way from the roof of their house on a nearby trees. The sheer size of the serpent is enough to evoke a sense of awe and fear, especially as it gracefully moves between the structures. Snakes are known for their agility and climbing abilities, but witnessing such a colossal specimen in a residential area is undoubtedly a rare and unsettling experience. As the family's camera captures the unfolding saga, the colossal serpent casually lifts its head, surveys the surroundings with a reptilian nonchalance, and then, brace yourself, begins its majestic ascent to another tree. The video not only showcases the impressive physical capabilities of the snake, but also highlights the potential encounters with wildlife that can occur in unexpected places. If you ever see a snake like this, run and get help. It may be too dangerous to engage it by yourself.
He's quite beautiful, isn't he? No.
Is he?
No, but
is
look
he
at
a
his
tree?
skin. He is beautiful.
Is he a tree snake?
No.
In this mystifying tapestry of the Mexican sky, an eerie symphony unfolds. Strange trumpet sounds that reverberate through the air, seemingly descended from the heavens themselves. The haunting notes are accompanied by a chorus of creatures as dogs unleash their bewildered barks and birds join in the discordant harmony, creating an atmosphere that tiptoes on the edge of the uncanny. Animals are often considered to have heightened senses, and their responses could be interpreted as instinctive reactions to something beyond human perception, perhaps something ominous and dangerous. The unexplained nature of these sounds prompts a myriad of questions. What could the source of these trumpet-like noises be? Some theories suggest atmospheric or geological phenomena, while others delve into more speculative ideas involving extraterrestrial activity or even paranormal occurrences. What do you personally think, though? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now, back to today's episode. Have you ever come across someone whose eyes appear to have water and sand in the retina? No? Watch this. It looks like the individual's eyes contain a whole new world, doesn't it? A part of me wanted to think this was probably fake. My team and I did a little combing through the internet and discovered this could be due to a rare eye condition called haliosis asteroids. It's a condition characterized by the presence of small, white or yellowish star-shaped formations in the vitreous humor, which is a gel-like substance that fills the back of the eye between the lens and the retina. These formations are known as asteroid bodies and can give the impression of water and sand in the retina, leading to a striking visual effect. Haliosis asteroids is a relatively uncommon condition that usually develops in people over 50 years of age. I know what you're thinking. Does it mean that they're blind? Well, the answer is no. In fact, most people with this condition are unaware of it unless they undergo a routine eye exam or have a close examination of their eyes. Take a look at this response from a post discussing the same condition. The exact cause of haliosis asteroids is unknown, but it's believed to be related to the aging process and the accumulation of certain proteins in the vitreous humor. While there's no specific treatment for haliosis asteroids, it's not a cause for concern as it does not affect vision or require any medical attention. What do you guys think of the condition, though? Now, this is like a death trap. Did I say like? This elevator door just came off while the elevator was moving. You can see that there is movement behind the doors, but it does seem like that is the elevator room. It's not often that you see this happen with an elevated door, and if this can happen, then anyone who uses the elevator certainly isn't safe. We don't have much context to the footage, but we can only hope that there were no casualties. If this clip did anything, it reaffirmed my phobia of elevators. This eerie 2006 footage, released by the police years later, unveils a mysterious and unsettling incident that occurred in a forest rumored to be a hotspot for strange occurrences. The unidentified man, driven by motives unknown, ventured into the woods and soon found himself in a dire situation.
Oh God. What?
As the footage rolls, an unseen entity or creature starts stalking the man, emitting bone-chilling, screeching sounds that grow progressively closer.
Okay, I'm not like this. Oh shit, I can't.
Faced with an unknown and potentially menacing pursuer, the man attempts to escape, but the camera ultimately falls, leaving the fate of the adventurer unresolved. What was chasing him through those haunted woods, and why does the forest guard its secrets so fiercely? Naturally, speculation runs wild, with some wondering if it was a creature of the supernatural, a denizen of folklore, or something else entirely. Having seen it, what do you think this could be? Let's dissect this electrifying footage, a raw capture of the very moment lightning struck a tree near a home. Upon closer inspection, an intriguing element unfolds. The impact of the lightning engulfs the surroundings in a bright light, revealing what appears to be a figure disintegrating in a thin air. Speculations around this occurrence lean toward the supernatural, some suggesting it might be a fallen angel or a demon meeting a dramatic end. Next up, we visit the waters between Haiti and Cuba, where something rather unusual is happening. Take a look.
Oh my God, what the are the... Is that fish? Mark, look at my phone, they're glowing.
Yeah, I know. I can see from here.
What is glowing underneath the ocean?
It's just a different color.
Mom, no. Look. Look at the colors on them. Oh my God.
So this was recorded by someone on a ship, and it's left him puzzled. Sure, the sea is a place of beauty with stuff not many have seen before, but this has many scratching their heads. The individual who uploaded this clip insists there was nothing under the water to make it that colorful. This led to some rather colorful explanations from the community, with some suggesting that it's most probably an underwater UFO. As interesting as that sounds, there are a few individuals who have been on ships who insist that it's definitely a reflection of the ship the individual recorded is in, especially if it's a cruise ship. Unfortunately, I have no experience in this area since anything that has to do with the deep seas scares me. So if you've been on a cruise ship, can you confirm if this is normal or not?
Oh my god, what the are the... Is that fish? Mark, look at my phone, they're glowing.
Yeah, I know. I can see from here.
What is glowing underneath the ocean?
এই কারা এখানে এই কি অবস্থা এই মেয়ে দাঁড়াও আরে
The next footage comes from India, and what happens here is pretty eerie, if I do say so myself. The man behind the camera was walking late at night when he stumbled upon a man and a woman sitting on the ground with their backs turned to him. As soon as the man sitting with the woman notices someone approaching, he immediately got up and started running. Without hesitation, the man with the camera chased after him, but no matter how fast he ran, he couldn't catch up. Meanwhile, the woman remained completely calm and unmoved by what was happening. When the man filming gave up the chase and returned to where the woman was, she had now stood up and was walking away, still keeping her back to him. He tried to get her attention, calling out to her, but she never responded. Then things took a turn for the unsettling. The woman stopped walking and stood behind a tree just out of sight. When the cameraman approached to get a better look at her, what he saw sent him running in terror. She had turned ahead, but her face was obscured by her long black hair, and her glowing eyes stared back at him from behind the strands. Her face was grotesque, almost inhuman. Now we understand why the first man ran off in such a panic. But there's something even more puzzling about this whole situation. If the woman is as terrifying as she appears, who was the man sitting with her in the first place? And why did he flee when he saw the cameraman approaching?
এই কারা এখানে এই কি অবস্থা এই মেয়ে দাঁড়াও আরে
Now let's take a break and listen to this truck driver's sentiments, which I share.
Man, honestly, I don't even care about going viral. That's the honest truth. I just make these videos to share with you guys stuff that I see as a truck driver. And everybody else is going to have an opinion. I already know.
Yup. That's exactly how I feel. I mean, I know he said he didn't want it to go viral, but we do, so please hit that like button and comment if you haven't already and share. Thank you. Now here's a peculiar incident captured on the footage. A sizable bird seemingly suspended mid-air above a street. A fireman on a truck attempts to dislodge the bird using a long rod, but the creature remains in a natural state, neither falling nor flapping its wings. This perplexing scene raises questions about the laws of physics and nature. Naturally, speculations about a potential glitch in the matrix or the bird being connected to a line have surfaced. But then, the location of this incident doesn't seem like a good place to pull such a stunt, don't you think? A more scientific explanation is that the bird is caught in an updraft or wind current, allowing it to hover without flapping its wings. But even that seems like a long stretch. Birds, especially large ones, can utilize air currents to maintain their position in the sky, creating a motionless appearance. Could this be one of such, or are we dealing with a real glitch in the Matrix? Speaking of being critical about details, tell me what you see when you look at this. I asked some team members the same question, and they thought we were dealing with something prehistoric, say a dinosaur. I mean, that's not so odd, because that's what I thought too. But then again, they're extinct, so it couldn't be them, right? So I checked the comments section of the original post to see if there was an explanation, and all I got was different perspectives. Some thought it was flying fish, which makes sense, but then again, it doesn't look like there's any water body around. Some also thought it had to be something related to dragons and fairies. Now that I say that out loud, I know how it sounds, but stay with me. While there were otherworldly submissions like the Phoenix and what have you, there was also more grounded theories like it being a drone. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know we have showcased drones, including those made by the military, to look like things like this for espionage purposes. The big question here is, what exactly are we dealing with? Julius thinks it's probably CGI, and my video editor agrees. You've seen the clip too, so what do you think? After the recent hurricanes in America, a strange video surfaced online showing a bizarre creature that had reportedly been washed out of the sea and onto the streets in the middle of a neighborhood. The creature, covered in dark goo, is seen flopping around on the ground, struggling to move. It appears to resemble a giant octopus, its tentacles wiggling in all directions, but many viewers have called the footage into question, believing it had to be a hoax or staged scene. Looking at the clip again, I feel the frame rate for the creature is lower than the actual footage, but what do I know? The mysterious case of the Russian YouTuber who conducted experiments on creating a homunculus using his DNA resurfaced in recent discussions. This content creator made a series of videos documenting his scientific journey, attempting to create small creatures using his DNA and a chicken egg. The intrigue reached its peak with about 19 episodes, after which the YouTuber mysteriously vanished, leaving the online community both shocked and captivated. Some believe that the higher-ups, possibly threatened by his unconventional experiments and discoveries, came for him, leading to his abrupt silence. On the other hand, skeptics argue that the entire episode could be the result of CGI manipulation. But if it was all CGI manipulation, why would he suddenly disappear? Wouldn't it even be easier now to keep it up with all these AIs around? Something just doesn't seem right. As the story resurfaces, however, it continues to be a topic of debate, leaving viewers to ponder the true nature of the homunculus experiment and the fate of the Russian YouTuber. Someone spotted this strange-looking bird going into the woods. It had odd-looking features, and its wings looked like they were broken. It has a long neck with disheveled feathers on it. But what stood out the most was its sheer size. This doesn't look like any bird we know of, and it has the mind dancing with possibilities. Could this be a new species, a feathered anomaly that has eluded scientific classification until now? It's hard to say, but one thing we can be sure of is the fact that our world is home to an incredible diversity of bird species, each adapted to its unique environment. Discoveries of new species, especially those exhibiting distinctive characteristics, fuel our fascination with the natural world. Keep 'em coming, Mother Nature. We love it like that. Now here we have another close call with an elevator. This footage was taken from the security camera in the elevator. A man and a woman were riding in an elevator going about their day when suddenly things took a terrifying turn. As the woman exits the elevator, the man remains inside using what appears to be an iron rod to prop the doors open while he retrieves his belongings. But fate has other plans in store. In a hard-stopping moment, the elevator doors begin to close with the iron rod still wedged between them and the man's foot, precariously positioned. Before anyone can react, the elevator lurches into motion, threatening to trap the man's leg in its unforgiving grasp. With lightning-fast reflexes, the man manages to free his leg from the impending danger, narrowly avoiding a potentially disastrous outcome. As the elevator grinds to a halt, he proceeds to pry the rod out, and as you can see, the metal is bent. This man was really lucky. Is Bigfoot dangerous? Well, most would probably say no, but there are still some who think the big guy is. The assumption is that the big guy loves to avoid people but is still very territorial and would protect his home. Some have shared accounts of them being attacked. Our next clip is one such account. This was recorded by a man who ventured into the woods to find the big guy. His trip met an unexpected twist when a stone was hurled toward him. The rock hit him on the head, causing him to lose consciousness. Despite this, his phone continued to record and it captured strange, eerie sounds emanating from the forest. The sounds were like howls and growls that echoed through the woods, leading him to believe that it was Bigfoot who had attacked him. This deviates from a lot of the things that we know about the big guy, the stone attack. Really? Bigfoot? Forgive me, but sometimes things like this are just a hard pill to swallow, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. In fact, the authenticity of the clip is being questioned. Even if the clip is the real deal, some think there might be another creature responsible for the attack. What do you guys think? Next, the night sky over Cape Town unveils an enigmatic display as an unusual formation of clouds captures attention. Now, of course, folks start speculating, saying it's a mysterious entity cloaked in those clouds. But let's hit the pause button on the sci-fi thrill for a moment. This is what we call lenticular clouds. Lenticular clouds are lens-shaped clouds that typically form near mountains or other geographical features that disrupt the flow of air. They're not uncommon and are usually associated with stable atmospheric conditions. While lenticular clouds can sometimes appear in unusual shapes and formations, they're natural meteorological phenomena. But then, with all these strange things happening, I'll not be surprised if this is indeed not just a cloud. Having seen it yourself, what do you think? Speaking of aliens, there have been some accusations against the Mexican government that involves them having knowledge about some UFO sightings. In footage captured in the woods, the remains of a miniature alien creature comes into focus. This diminutive being possesses distinctive features, notably a disproportionately large head and small eyes. The discovery raises a plethora of questions. What could have caused the demise of this extraterrestrial entity, and what's the deal with these sudden UFO sightings in Mexico? It's like the aliens decided to spice up their travel itinerary, making a pit stop for some tacos and salsa. I mean, if you love tacos like my assistant Julius does, you wouldn't blame him for choosing Mexico. This next one has gone viral in recent times. It features a very peculiar object that was spotted in the night sky. The object in question is triangular and has 3 round lights, one at each point. No one who's seen this clip can state with certainty what it is. Many speculations are flying around though. Interestingly, a majority of commenters speculated that the object could be a TR-3B. For those unfamiliar with it, TR-3B is a highly secretive aircraft often mentioned in conspiracy theories and UFO lore. According to these theories, the TR-3B is a triangular-shaped craft that's equipped with advanced propulsion and stealth capabilities and is supposedly developed by the United States government's black budget programs. However, there's no concrete evidence to support the existence of the TR-3B. What are your thoughts on this mysterious object in the sky? Do you believe that the TR-3B could be a real, top-secret aircraft, or is it just another urban legend? Right when you think you have seen it all. A group of individuals stumbled upon a strange and unsettling creature while exploring a secluded area. The creature was lying on the ground, motionless, with its face and flesh resembling that of a pig. However, upon closer inspection, it became apparent that its lower half was shaped like that of a fish. The creature's mouth was agape, with its tongue sticking out and its sharp teeth on full display. What made this discovery even more disturbing was the fact that the creature bore the unmistakable stamp of a meat factory. Scientists and food factories may be experimenting with and creating meat from these mutated creatures for human consumption. The thought of such a practice is truly horrifying. What do you think about this discovery? Do you believe that we should be more cautious about the food that we consume? Next, we have mysterious footage capturing an unusual phenomena in the night sky. In the video, the sky displays 2 distinct tones of color, with one part appearing darker and the other brighter. The location of the incident remains undisclosed. The only certainty is that folks from Northern Virginia and undisclosed places have reported witnessing this celestial oddity. The question on everyone's mind, what in the universe is going on up there? Various theories have emerged to explain the peculiar phenomenon. Some suggest that it might be a rare and unexplained weather occurrence, while others entertain the possibility of extraterrestrial involvement. What do you think this could be? In the dense forests of a remote village in Peru, a peculiar incident unfolded, captured on camera for the world to witness. A tree branch, seemingly severed by an unseen force, fell to the forest floor. One might initially dismiss it as a natural occurrence. The local villagers hold a different perspective. The villagers expressed concern about the mysterious incident, attributing it to potential encounters with beings not of this world. Before this encounter, there had been rumors circulating about extraterrestrial entities with jetpacks ominously referred to as face peelers, roaming the area and sometimes causing havoc. Some sections of the online community that saw this footage, on the other hand, proposed something else. They suspect that the military might be behind this occurrence. According to them, the military may be carrying out covert operations, possibly testing advanced cloaking technologies. What do you think? Could this be aliens or military people testing a cloaking device? Here we have another UFO footage that was shared online, but no one seems to know exactly where it was taken. In the clip, you can see three strange objects flying in the sky. Nearby, there's a helicopter seemingly observing or investigating the unusual aerial activity. These flying objects have been reported as UFOs, and based on the footage, it looks like authorities may have been dispatched to check them out. With the footage creating a lot of buzz, it's hard not to wonder, are we looking at another UFO encounter, or is this just fake? Is there a Bigfoot in Georgia? Before you answer, take a look at this.
They got Bigfoot. Found him down here in Georgia. Got him dragging him with that helicopter.
The individual who recorded this clip was going about his day like he usually would when he saw something rather unusual in the sky. There were two military helicopters in the sky carrying something large. At first, he thought it was an object, something classified, but the more he looked, the more he felt it might be a living thing. After staring for a while, he was sure it was a Bigfoot and started to record. As you can see from the clip, however, there's no Samsung Ultra with 100% zoom, so the clip is quite blurry. He is, however, convinced that a Bigfoot, and many have asked how he came to that conclusion. He doesn't say much, only that the clip doesn't do the whole thing justice. So you've seen it, so what do you think?
They got Bigfoot. Found him down here in Georgia. Got him dragging him with that helicopter.
This particular footage is one I can barely make sense out of. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, just pay attention to the sky. You might first think those are trails left by an aircraft, but after closer attention, you'll realize they actually look like lights circulating. How's that even possible? Let me give you a quick answer. It's not. That's at least if you try to limit your explanation to everyday human occurrences. When you open your mind up to consider possibilities such as alien spaceship in the sky, it all of a sudden makes sense, even if it is crazy. What if those round moving things are actually the base of saucers camouflaged in the sky? Before you call me crazy, take a second look at the footage, think hard, and open your mind. Have you done that? Do you see it? Share your thoughts in the comments section. In this next footage, a man steps out of his house holding a mysterious bag. The contents are revealed to be a camouflage cloth, and as he covers himself with it, an extraordinary transformation occurs. He seamlessly blends into his surroundings. Now think about it. If this is real, it's like having a superhero's invisibility cloak in our hands. Imagine the kind of wild stuff you could do with that. But here's the head scratcher. Where on earth did he get his hands on something like this? It's not like you can find invisibility cloaks at your local store, right? The mere existence of this kind of tech opens up a can of questions. Is this a sneak peek into some top-secret military gear, or did this guy stumble upon some hidden gem of technology? My assistant Aaron thinks our young sir may have picked up a Deathly Hallow, but if the world of wizards truly exists, perhaps we muggles shouldn't be meddling in it. Don't you think? Speaking of things I'm not sure are real or not, take a closer look at this. What do you see? In case it was not already clear, the one who uploaded this believes he captured a Bigfoot in his backyard. While I would very much love to believe him, the problem is that the capture is not exactly clear, so I can't tell what we're looking at. Our video editor tried enhancing, but not much came of the capture. I want to believe him, but I just can't see anything. Can you? In this footage from 2011 in the Philippines, we witness a remarkable moment. A group of men working together pulls a massive creature from the river, Lolong, one of the largest crocodiles ever recorded. This incredible animal weighed around 1,000 kilograms, about 2,200 pounds, and measured over 20 feet, 6.1 meters in length. To put that into perspective, that's longer than the average car. Lolong wasn't just any crocodile. His sheer size and strength were reminiscent of a creature straight out of prehistoric times. Crocodiles have been around for millions of years, making them some of the closest living relatives to dinosaurs. Often called living fossils, these ancient predators have changed very little over time, surviving mass extinctions and adapting to harsh environments, all while continuing to reign as apex predators in many ecosystems. If the sheer size of that thing doesn't scare you, then perhaps you are the one we should be afraid of. A man and his wife heard their dog barking, which naturally drove them to the spot to check it out.
Danny, come here, bud.
Ginny, come here.
Come here, boy.
Now, Ginny.
Get away from there.
After a few seconds, they saw a shadow of someone standing in the dark some moments after they switched on the lights. Under the sudden illumination stood an alien being. Its bug-like eyes peered intensely at the bewildered couple, as if probing the depths of their souls with an inscrutable gaze. How did this thing get there, and where did it come from? They assumed that the encounter was one with an alien. I know it's wild and all, but let's keep our feet on the ground for a second. Perhaps there's a logical explanation behind this encounter. Some more digging into details might help us figure out if it's genuine or just a case of the light messing with our heads.
Danny, come here, bud.
Ginny, come here.
Come here, boy.
Now, Ginny.
While on a mountaintop, a woman was filming when she noticed something strange.
You're here.
Her companion's hair was standing straight in the air, and as she passed her hands through the air, there was a low zipping sound like it was electricity. Some have suggested that it could be a sign of an impending lightning strike, a natural phenomenon often associated with the hair standing on end due to the electrical charge in the atmosphere. On the other hand, some also entertain the idea that it might be linked to an energy field or even a portal of sorts. What do you think is more plausible?
A hidden secret of Port Phillip Bay has been revealed during an extraordinary underwater encounter off Mornington.
Animals are fascinating creatures that never cease to amaze us with their intelligence and behavior. They have a unique way of communicating and interacting with us, and we're still trying to understand their world. Take a look at this encounter. A diver had a unique encounter with an octopus while deep in the sea. The octopus approached her and latched on her hand, motioning her to follow it. The diver followed the creature, and according to her, the octopus would swim ahead of her and turn to make sure she was following. The curious and friendly octopus led the diver to what looked like a grave on the seabed. On the grave, there was a picture of a man and his dog, almost as if the octopus was trying to convey a message to her. Naturally, the encounter was a fascinating experience for the diver, who was left in awe of the octopus's intelligence and behavior. Remarkable, don't you think? Next, we've got another fascinating video that shows a line of shrimps seemingly striking a yoga pose, which left me baffled. How do you even teach shrimps this? I started thinking this has to be the work of some sort of animal or shrimp whisperer. I did some digging around, however, and I discovered that the footage was a cleverly planned reverse video. It's embarrassing, I know, but you can't really blame me, can you? We see weird things all the time, and you have to admit it's amazing how such simple editing can create such an intriguing illusion. You can see 4 men holding down a woman. Now, that might set off some serious alarm bells, but hold off on your judgment until you hear the full scoop. According to them, the woman in question started levitating. Yeah, you heard that right. Levitating, as in defying good old gravity. Before you dismiss it as some street performance gone awry, take a closer look. No strings, no hidden contraptions, just a woman seemingly suspended against the laws of physics. The expressions on the faces of the men holding her down tell a tale of genuine concern. Does that make this real? A woman challenging the forces that keep us grounded. It's kind of the stuff that fuels both skepticism and wonder. Is it a case of supernatural levitation, a glitch in the Matrix, or something else entirely? In the realm of the ocean's embrace, a seemingly routine retrieval mission takes a spine-chilling turn. A man, having dropped something precious into the depths, takes the plunge into the azure waters to reclaim his lost treasure. Little does he know that beneath the surface, an unforeseen danger lurks in the form of a silent and swift ocean predator. As he secures his prized possession, his friends, sensing the impending threat, urgently beckon him to return to the safety of the surface. Ignoring their warnings, our intrepid explorer, driven by curiosity as deep as the ocean itself, dives once more into the aquatic realm to understand the urgency of his friends' pleas. And then the revelation strikes like a lightning bolt. A shark, its sleek form gliding ominously toward him. The footage tantalizingly cuts off at this juncture, leaving us suspended in a moment of suspense, with the fate of the daring diver hanging in the balance. What transpired next in the silent dance between man and shark beneath the waves? I guess we may never know, but seeing as this footage was posted, we can safely state that he's alive and well. Or at least hope so. Next, we have another alleged Bigfoot encounter that was shared on Reddit by a hiker in Vancouver Island. Let's take a look. She was on a route when, according to her, she spotted this creature ahead in the trees. The creature had its head poked out from some bushes, but the rest of its body was hidden. It had this grotesque look, very different from the usual description of the Bigfoot we know. According to her, she was so terrified she managed to get just this image. Just look at the face. Do you think this is indeed a Bigfoot we're looking at, or yet another cryptid altogether? If you thought that was odd-looking, then I wonder what you'd make of this one. Someone found this strange-looking sandy ground. There was a round patch of sand on the ground that looked like it was boiling. The person filming put bricks into it, and it went right in. What could this be? Now, I'm not saying there's a sand-dwelling creature with a penchant for building materials, but hey, stranger things have happened. It's like we've stumbled upon the lair of some ancient desert guardian ready to gobble up anything that dares to disturb its sandy slumber. As much as I love my monsters, I don't think that's what's happening here. Does any one of you know what we're dealing with here? Kindly share in the comments section. The advancement of technology has indeed reached a point where the lines between reality and artificial creations are becoming increasingly blurred. This footage from Stan Winston's School of Arts showcases an impressive creation, a mechanical dog that closely mimics the movement and behaviors of a real canine. The intricacy of the mechanics allows the artificial dog to move its head and pant in a remarkably lifelike manner. The way it responds to human interactions, such as having its head rubbed, looks almost real. The level of detail and precision in the construction of these mechanical dogs is nothing short of remarkable. As technology continues to push the boundaries of what's possible, we can't help but imagine what people will come up with next. These creations serve as a testament to the convergence of artistry and engineering, don't you think? Now, what do we have here? A fish swimming in the water, nothing out of the ordinary, right? Wrong. Watch as someone picks up the fish and turns it over, and there it is, the horror. The lower part of the fish is grotesquely torn open, an empty void where the entrails should be. The fish, however, continues to swim, prompting a cascade of questions that lead us into the realm of the uncanny. Is it a zombie fish, maybe? We suspect that the fish is dead and has been infected by a water parasite that takes over the mind and body of the host. I believe it's called a hydra. Skeptics think that someone gutted a fish while it was alive and released it. After all, they do stay alive for a few seconds before finally dying, which could be what's happening here. Some, however, think that it's just a toy fish. What do you think? After a particularly heavy rainfall, a woman noticed some cracks forming on a tarred road. Curious, she went in for a closer look and found something truly odd. Between the cracks, there was a bubbling liquid rising up from the underneath. The liquid was moving as if something beneath the surface was boiling or reacting with the road, creating small pockets of bubbles that popped and fizzled. What's going on down there? Is it simply a reaction between water and the heated road, or could it be a chemical reaction, underground pressure, or perhaps something stranger lurking beneath the surface? Here we've got a military aircraft which appears to be part of the famed Blue Angel Squadron flying through the sky. A few seconds into the clip, and what initially looked like one plane appears to be two. They fly side by side in perfect formation, and then both jets rotate at exactly the same time before shooting off in unison. This has confused many, with some calling the appearance of the second plane a glitch in the Matrix. Now, usually the whole community just agrees to this, but this time some are saying it's a matter of perspective. The angle from which the whole thing was shot made it look like a single plane initially, but once the angle was right, the second plane became visible. Not many agree with this assertion though, as they insist this is definitely a glitch. Now, if it's not a glitch, which I don't think it is, I think the flying is absolutely impressive. The synchronization, precision, and control these pilots display are beyond remarkable. They make something so challenging look almost effortless. But then again, I could be wrong. It could really be a glitch. What say you? Caught on a security camera at a job site, a man vanished into thin air as a bus drove by. One possible explanation involves glitches or anomalies in the camera equipment, creating an illusion of the man disappearing. However, if the footage is genuine and unfiltered, it opens the door to more enigmatic possibilities. Paranormal enthusiasts consider the notion of supernatural occurrences, suggesting the man could be a ghost visiting our plane. Some also state that it could be a mere man somehow manipulating reality. Skeptics, on the other hand, lean toward the idea of the whole thing being an elaborate hoax, with the footage carefully crafted for attention or amusement. Having seen it with your own eyes, which of these possibilities do you think is most likely? Share it with us in the comments section. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a snake the size of the one in the next clip after you now, would you? In this intriguing footage, we find a fearless individual holding in his hands a creature that sparks both curiosity and a hint of trepidation, a massive wasp. To be precise, this formidable insect belongs to the species known as tarantula hawks or spider wasps. The tarantula hawk, named for its hunting behavior, seeks out tarantulas to serve as hosts for its larvae. The wasp's sting is known for being one of the most painful in the insect world, causing temporary paralysis in its prey. This particular tarantula hawk, unlike its stinging counterparts, exhibits a remarkable absence of a sting. Very strange. The man, with a mix of bravery and intrigue, cradles the formidable insect in his hands. Do you think he found the insect stingless, or is he the reason for why it's stingless? Share your thoughts. Trees can grow to incredible sizes, and sometimes they even seem big enough to hide a person inside. One day, as a passerby was strolling by an enormous tree, something strange caught his eye. There was a hole in the tree, which is pretty normal, right? But when he got closer, he saw something eerie. Inside the hollow space was an eye. This wasn't a human eye, it was far too small for that. The skin around it had an unusual pattern, almost like a zebra, but instead of black and white, it was a mix of earthy browns. It was staring right at him from the dark hollow of the tree. What kind of creature has an eye like this, tucked away inside a tree? Is this some kind of hidden forest dweller, an animal we've never encountered, or could this be something even more mysterious? Whatever it is, it's unsettling. This video was captured in Anganjeo, Mexico, and was shared by a local resident. In the footage, the resident came across some strange objects hovering in the sky. One of these objects was closer to the ground, making it easier to see its odd shape. It appeared round, but had these sharp, pointy edges that made it stand out as something unusual. There was also a second object further up in the sky, although it was much harder to make out clearly. Many who've seen this footage believe that we're looking at what could be some sort of UFO activity. But what are your thoughts on this?
This is a random one. Where are we even? Like, what the hell? Oh, that's on purpose. That has to be on purpose.
The fireman.
A group of friends were driving out of the Hollywood Hills when they stumbled upon something strange in Koreatown. It was a random flame on a building, and what's odd is that no one seemed to care. People were casually walking by, paying no attention to the fire. Given everything happening in Los Angeles right now, it makes you wonder, why isn't anyone alarmed by this fire? And when you start looking deeper into the situation with the LA fires, doesn't it feel like there's something off? Let's be clear, this isn't to diminish the pain and struggles of those directly affected, but have you ever stopped to think about why this has become such a dominant narrative? Who benefits from everyone being so focused on these fires? Could it be that this massive coverage is a way to distract us from something else going on in the shadows?
This is a random one. Where are we even? Like, what the hell? Oh, that's on purpose. That has to be on purpose.
The fireman.
This shit's turning, bro. They finished later, one for
Mom, es un hombre. Es un hombre.
Speaking of strange sights, take a look at this one. A young man was hanging outside one day when he noticed something unusual in the sky. He's heard saying the word hombre, which is Spanish for man. He believes the figure is a man, and looking at it, I understand why he thinks that. He tells his mom the same thing and uploads it online, asking if people could see what he saw. A chunk of the individuals in the paranormal community who saw it believed it was really a man. One individual, however, pointed out that it might be nothing more than a plastic bag that's been picked up by the wind. This, of course, led to a debate which repeated itself in our office when we tried to discuss it. But you've seen the clip, so what do you think? Next, we got a rather peculiar clip that I came across recently.
This is the original Elf on the Shelf, brought back from Ireland nearly 100 years ago.
The person in the clip believes that what he has in his possession is a leprechaun. It was apparently brought from Ireland a century ago. Do you remember the popular holiday tradition of Elf on the Shelf? During the Christmas season, a popular tradition involves placing a small elf doll, often referred to as the Elf on the Shelf, in different locations around the house each day. The premise is that the elf is sent by Santa Claus to watch over children and report back to him each night on their behavior. This person has something similar, a mummified elf-like creature that they display every Christmas. The creature is quite unsettling with its dried skin and teeth. The man who brought it home claims that strange things happen whenever the creature is displayed, from flickering lights to strange noises. It feels as if someone is always watching you. The overall experience, according to him, is quite eerie and unsettling. Now let me ask this question. Is it worth having such a thing in your home? Here we have another reported Bigfoot sighting. It was allegedly taken with an infrared trail camera. The picture shows a bipedal cryptid walking with an estimated height of at least 7 feet and with noticeably thick muscles in the chest area. The capture is unusually white, which might be due to the technology used to capture the image. Naturally, the comment section of the original post was a battlefield between skeptics and believers. One commenter argues that it is cropped CGI image. Another unbeliever says that the whole thing is a hoax because someone else also claims to have the very same image. Frankly, it's hard to say which side is right, but myself and my team leans ever so slightly on the possibility of it being a hoax. What do you think? Technology has played a massive role in the world's development, fueling our progress with resources like gas, petrol, oil, and so much more. But did you know that water was once explored as a potential fuel? Yes, a man named Stanley Mayer invented a car that ran entirely on water. That's right, water as fuel. His invention was so groundbreaking that even the Pentagon showed an interest in it. Imagine the possibilities. A vehicle requiring no expensive maintenance, no gas, no oil, just water. It could have revolutionized the world and solved countless problems, even helping to combat issues like flooding. Back in the 1990s, Stanley was on the brink of signing a multi-million-dollar deal for his invention. But then something strange happened. While dining out, he suddenly fell ill. On his deathbed, Stanley claimed he had been poisoned. He passed away unexpectedly, leaving his invention and its promise shrouded in mystery. Now here's the eerie part. Have you noticed how many inventors of world-changing eco-friendly technology seem to meet untimely and suspicious ends? Peoples whose innovations challenge powerful corporations often seem to vanish or die unexpectedly. Why do you think this happens?
If you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water, if you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, then use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
man was out driving late one night trying to capture the full moon on video for his kids when his truck suddenly jolted as if it hit something. Startled, he glanced at his rearview mirror expecting to see debris or maybe an animal. Instead, his heart skipped a beat. A figure lay motionless on the ground behind his truck. Shaken, he turned to look with his own eyes, but the road was empty. Confused, he checked the monitor again, and what he saw next froze him in place. The figure was no longer on the ground, it was standing upright, staring directly at his truck. Its faintly transparent form was eerily visible on the monitor, but when he looked back outside, there was nothing there. Was this a true ghostly encounter, or could there be another explanation for this unsettling event? Share your thoughts below. What do angels look like? There are various depictions of what these creatures could be. Some say there are light beings, others call them interdimensional, some heavenly, and so many more. Someone looking into the sky using a telescope spotted these in the sky. Strange lights, an entity moving across the sky, and there was this particular one that was a luminous thing that was rotating and changing shape as if floating away. People had a lot to say about this. Some thought it was an angel or some heavenly being, but others called it an atmospheric biological being. First time I've heard of this, and another called it a plasma being. Some also thought it was just debris and that we were seeing things that were not there. Aaron, my in-house intern on all things paranormal, thinks there's something there, but Julius, the scientific intern amongst us, thinks this is nothing more than a sham to mislead believers in the paranormal. What's your take? Still on the wonders of Mother Nature, take a look at this next one. Wondering why this lake is a big deal? Well, maybe because it's not a lake. This is supposed to be the desert of Oman, but somehow it's flooded. I didn't believe the clip when I saw it, so I did some research, and it turns out it's actually true. How does a place go from looking like a desert to looking like this? A team member shared some theories stating that the current pole shifting could be responsible. Another mentioned cloud seeding. In fact, one stated that Oman has a magical pop-up rainforest. For 3 months each year, a very special weather phenomenon happens in Oman that transforms the usually arid desert into a spectacular rainforest. Seemingly, overnight, barren slopes are turned into emerald green hills, lakes and waterfalls sprout forth, and the temperature drops to a cool 68 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius. That sounds cool, right? My research proves that's not the case, and that's purely speculation. I don't live near the spot, so it's hard to confirm myself. But scientists on the internet wouldn't lie, right? If you live around, please confirm if these things are true or not. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you were to enter a black hole? Well, this clip is your answer. As you approach the black hole from a third-person perspective, time would seem to slow down. To an outside observer, it would look like you're moving slower and slower until eventually you vanish at the event horizon. But what's really happening? At the center of a black hole known as the singularity, light itself cannot escape due to the immense gravitational pull. The intense gravity warps space and time so dramatically that the laws of physics as we know them break down. Now, how did scientists even come up with this theory? Through mathematical equations and observations of gravitational effects in space, they've developed models to describe what might happen. But don't worry, this isn't exactly something anyone is volunteering to test out firsthand. A man walking through the Wicklow Mountains in Ireland stumbled upon something chilling. Take a look at this. A trail of red stretched across the snow as though something had been killed and dragged down the mountain. What's unsettling is there were no remains, nothing to indicate whether this was human or animal. The Wicklow Mountains aren't known to have wolves or large predators, so what could have caused this? He started to feel it could have been a murder scene, but that will just be inhumane and gruesome. Let's hope this was just a simple case of an animal hunting its prey and dragging it through the snow. At least, that's what I'd like to believe, but there's something about this scene that just doesn't sit right. Don't you agree? Let's break down this strange footage, which was captured by a street security camera in an undisclosed location. In the clip, a dark, ghostly figure can be seen moving across the street, emerging from the nearby woodland. At first glance, it seems almost transparent, its form shifting as it moves, with the upper part of its body appearing more visible than the lower half. The figure's bipedal movement makes it clear that whatever this is, it's not an animal. One thing that stands out is the figure's posture. The upper body appears hunched or bent, giving it an eerie, unnatural appearance. It doesn't quite resemble the typical idea of a ghost, especially not a human one. Its proportions are strange, almost as if it's something not of this world. Some have speculated that it could be an alien, perhaps some using some kind of cloaking technology. Others argue that this could be some form of shadow on the camera. Looking at it, what do you think it could be? It's no secret that the ocean is one of the creepiest places on Earth, with so many strange and unexplained things lurking in its depths. There are always new mysteries surfacing. Take a look at this, for instance. Some deep-sea adventurers captured this worm-like creature wiggling in the ocean on camera. It was long and slithering, moving gracefully through the water. But here's where things get really weird. After it floated around for a bit, it suddenly dissipated into the water, almost like it turned into dust and just vanished. What could this thing be? At first glance, it looked alive, but then it seemed to melt away in front of their eyes. It's as if the creature had some kind of strange, almost ghostly ability to disappear. Is it some sort of deep-sea phenomenon, or is this something otherworldly? Some educate us in the comments section. A man was out for a late-night stroll in the park when he noticed this figure standing under a streetlight, staring intently into the light. It looks humanoid and male and is covered in a long black robe from neck to toe. The only part of him visible was his pale head. His ears were slightly pointed and had an unnaturally shaped appearance. The man, feeling an overwhelming sense of unease, decided to maintain a safe distance while filming this strange encounter on his phone. Suddenly, without warning, the figure whips around to face him, but you cannot see his face well due to the darkness. The man believes that this was a vampire. In today's world, with all the myths and legends surrounding supernatural creatures, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. Soon after sharing his experience, a commenter chimed in with an interesting observation saying this: "Pretty sure I've seen this in a film or a short film for school. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Could this be the case, or could it actually be a genuine vampire encounter? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section." This next footage comes from a police body cam. The officer was on patrol late at night when he noticed a blue 1999 Chevy parked on the side of the road. So he approached the car. Take a look at the passenger side window. There it is, a hand pressed against the glass, but then it just disappears. As the officer got closer and peeked inside, he found the car completely empty. That's right, no one was inside, and yet we clearly saw that hand on the window. Things got even stranger when the officer walked around the car. The radio suddenly turned on and started playing, but the car was not even running. The dash cam revealed no ignition activity and there wasn't a soul around. So how did this car get there, and who or what was left behind? I guess we'll never truly know.
This is some spooky right here. I'm gonna have to call this in the sheriff's department.
While you ponder over that, watch this footage and tell me what you think is going on. I've watched it several times, but I still can't figure it out. This is from a security camera set up outside someone's home, but it seems to be pointing toward the other house nearby. You can see an orb descending from the sky onto one of the houses, and just as it vanishes, the lights in that house suddenly come on. Then the orb reappears, floating back up into the sky, and as it does, the lights turn off again. It happens a second time, but this time when the orb goes back up, a larger orb appears and suddenly bolts of lightning light up the whole area before the orb vanishes completely. What in the world just happened? While you share your thoughts on that, what do you think of weather manipulation? Do you think it's a stupid idea, or do you think governments are already at it? Well, there are some who believe many of the things we're experiencing with regard to our weather are not as random as we think. With the onset of Hurricane Helene and the damage it has left in its path, especially in North Carolina, these talks have started again. Lives have been lost and damage costs have gone up by the billions. While it may seem easy to dismiss this as nature being nature, members of the paranormal community believe this was planned. Take these floodwaters for instance. On a normal day, nobody would think anything of it, but some of the members of the community with a background in science think it looks eerily familiar. To them, the shape of the waves look like what magnetic fluid looks like when exposed to a magnet. But could water be manipulated like that? Well, they seem to think so. They believe HARP could be at the center. If you aren't familiar with the project, HARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, is a research project originally funded by the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA for short, primarily for studying the ionosphere. The ionosphere is a part of Earth's upper atmosphere that plays a crucial role in radio wave propagation, which has implications for communication and navigation systems. HARP uses powerful high-frequency radio transmitters to heat localized areas of the ionosphere, allowing researchers to study its response. The primary goal of the project was to understand and potentially improve radio communications, surveillance, and missile detection capabilities. Over time, HARP has become the subject of numerous conspiracy theories, with some people claiming it was used for weather manipulation, mind control, or even as a weapon to cause natural disasters like earthquakes and hurricanes. This is due to how the waves of the project work, by heating portions of the ionosphere. It is theoretically possible, according to those in the community, to create the disasters we mentioned. There's also the bit of the vast lithium deposits locked up in the ground beneath North Carolina. That too has been linked to weather manipulation. But what do you guys think? Could there be truth to this, or are we just seeing things that aren't there? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section.
Look at him spraying. Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is crazy, man.
You know how we've been seeing weird outlines in the sky? Well, this man actually caught a craft creating one live, and that's what you're actually watching on your screen right now. If you pay attention to the clip, you should see the plane flying vertically with what looks like a cloud behind it. According to the man filming, the plane is actually spraying something into the atmosphere that's leaving the outline. He's shocked and intrigued at the same time, wondering what all could be going on. If you've been on this channel long enough, then you've probably heard of chemtrails, which is what we think the plane might be discharging. For the new ones here, the chemtrail conspiracy theory suggests that the white streaks left behind by aeroplanes, known as contrails, are not just water vapor and ice crystals, but actually chemicals deliberately sprayed into the atmosphere by governments or other entities. The conspiracy theory suggests that they're being used for purposes such as weather control, population manipulation, or even secret biological experiments. Despite its popularity in conspiracy circles, scientists and aviation experts have repeatedly debunked the theory, explaining that contrails form naturally when hot, moist exhaust from aircraft engines meets cold air at high altitudes, creating visible condensation. There's no credible evidence supporting the existence of chemtrails, but the theory persists due to distrust in authority and misinterpretation of atmospheric science. You've seen the clip yourself, so what do you also think?
Look at that. Look at that. He is spraying the sky again.
A TikToker hiker recently shared a chilling experience from his nighttime hike in the Appalachian Mountains. Check out the footage. In the middle of his hike, he started hearing strange noises echoing through the woods. It sounded like people calling for help and crying out in distress. Now, if you know anything about the Appalachian Mountains, you're aware of the legends surrounding them. Stories of mysterious creatures and unexplained phenomenon are pretty common. The uploader suggested this might actually be a Wendigo or a mimic. I know it sounds like a bit of a stretch, but this is the Appalachian Mountains we're talking about. Julius, our scientist, listened to the audio and stated that it was oddly familiar. He argued that there was a chance the sounds we were hearing were pre-recorded and uploaded. Personally, I must say that after listening over and over and over, I have to agree with Julius on this one. It really does seem like the sounds were pre-recorded and added to the footage. While it's definitely spooky, I'm calling this one a hoax. Nice try, though. Here we have another wonder that was captured in the night sky of Panama City. If you watch carefully, there appears to be a peculiar glow emanating from behind the clouds. Many who saw it had the impression that it could be originating from some sort of unidentified flying craft. While sightings of UFOs or unidentified flying objects are not a new phenomenon, they still manage to grab our attention and leave us in awe. With the footage available, it's hard to determine what exactly this could be. This one, for instance, has the paranormal community divided. Some are convinced it is truly a UAP, while others are seeing nothing more than a video manipulation meant to mislead. Now I'd like to hear your thoughts too. What do you think about this sighting? What do you do when you come across coins that have never been officially made and circulated by any government in the world, especially when it looks alien and seems like it could have come from an alternate reality? Well, everyone knows you record and put it on the internet. Of course, that's exactly what the one who uploaded this online did, and it created one of the most heated debates we've ever had in a long time on one of our paranormal pages. Some argued that it could have been carved by someone for the purposes of mischief, while others argued it could have been alien. Others also thought it might have found its way into our world from an alternate reality through a rift in space and time. Yes, I know, it sounds ridiculous, but it's not impossible. Upon further research, we discovered that the coin in question bears a striking resemblance to a hobo nickel, a sculptural art form involved in creating modification of small denomination coins, resulting in miniature bas-reliefs. The United States nickel coin was favored because of its size, thickness, and softness, making it an ideal canvas for artistic expression. While the term hobo nickel is generic, carvings have been made from many denominations, and it's possible that this coin is an example of this art form. However, the unusual design and features of the coin still leave many questions unanswered, fueling the debate and speculation about its origin. A resident of Pennsylvania stepped outside his home one evening only to be greeted and then astonished by this striking red beam of light illuminating the sky. This unusual phenomenon has not only caught his attention, but has also drawn numerous reports from others in the area who claim to have witnessed similar beams of light across the sky. The frequency of these sightings raises questions. Is this merely a coincidence, or could there be a larger, more mysterious event occurring in the region? As curiosity grows, people are left to ponder the possible explanations behind these captivating beams. Years ago, during the Second World War, there was a mysterious project known as Project Race, and it was orchestrated by the Nazis in the mountains of Poland. For this project, they constructed massive structures interconnected by a network of caves deep in the mountains. Although they were unable to complete the project, one notable success was a colossal castle built in the area. These caves were abandoned for decades, but there were chilling rumors about what went on there. Stories of secret experiments, attempts to resurrect the dead, and even endeavors into time travel have fueled speculation for years. Recently, explorers went into the abandoned tunnels documenting their experience. As they made their way through the eerie passages, they captured this on camera. A pale humanoid figure running on 2 feet ahead of them in the darkness. They uploaded the clip they recorded, and many theories followed. Many who saw the clip think that the Nazis may have succeeded in at least one of their experiments and created something otherworldly. Looking at the clip, I'm tempted to think this could be a remnant of those alleged experiments. But do you think it's crazy to think that? Do you have a more logical explanation? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section.
Alright, so I don't know what's going on. We're back in Greece, by the way, alright?
What
But
the fuck is this?
like, what is going on? I never saw this since I'm here.
Greece, land of the gods and stunning sunsets. But this footage? It's like stepping into an alternate reality where everything's been doused in a fiery orange hue. At first glance, you might think someone's gone a little overboard with the Instagram filters, but hold up. The person behind the camera insists that this is the real deal, with no filter in sight. So what in the name of Zeus could be causing this surreal scene? Some speculate that it could be a sandstorm, a natural occurrence known to envelop landscapes in a swirling cloud of dust and sand particles. The orange tint could be the result of sunlight filtering through the dusty atmosphere, painting everything in its path with a warm amber glow. But there's always room for speculation in the comments section. What do you think it is? Nature is an enigmatic force which can be both awe-inspiring and intimidating. One such instance of this duality can be seen in the footage where large rocks slide from the side of the road over the railings and then onto the road. The sheer size of the rocks and the speed at which they move are enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Despite several bystanders filming the incident, there seemed to be no way to stop or mitigate the damage caused by the rock. It's in moments like these that we're reminded of nature's raw power and the fact that we're just mere mortals in its path. In another instance, we see the asphalt on the road assume an unusual shape, almost as if it were boiling. This piques the curiosity of a passerby, and upon closer inspection, a man pries open one of these pockets to reveal a massive stone. So underneath all these pockets are stones? What phenomena is this? Let us know if you have any idea of what this could be in the comments section below. And just like that, we're back to the Southern California fires. This time it's not an official report, but rather something someone named Kennard captured while streaming the raging fires from downtown Los Angeles. There are two clips, and with both clips, you see what looks like flying crafts going into and out of the fire. The second clip has an additional detail in the form of loud booms.
Okay, I think we're good there. Oh my god, did you guys hear that? You see what I'm talking about?
These booms are unexpected and add to the mystery of the clips he was capturing. Once he uploaded the clips, he had members of the community talking, with some wondering what these flying objects were. Some even suggested they were definitely UFOs, but why would UFOs be visiting the fires occasionally and returning? Were they putting chemicals into the fires or collecting something from the devastation the fire was causing? Aaron was thinking through the whole thing and coming up with theories until Julius showed up, took a look at the clip, and stated that it was most likely a sped-up clip. Our video editor took a second and a critical look at it and confirmed that it was indeed sped up. That would mean the supposed booms were explosions from the fire that were now happening quickly due to the sped-up nature of the clip. That doesn't solve the UFOs now, or does it? Well, if the clip is sped up, then there's a possibility that those crafts are just helicopters and planes that are being used in fighting the fire. That would explain why they kept returning in the clip. So basically, no mystery here. Bummer.
Okay, I think we're good there. Oh my god, did you guys hear that?
No sabe dónde cayó.
A man was walking through the streets of Boston when he stumbled upon something strange. Parked on the side of the street was a car with a mysterious object resting on its hood. The object looked unusual, and it had an inscription that read CSA ASC. After people saw the footage, it was concluded that this might have been a satellite that fell from space, possibly a Canadian satellite. It does resemble one, and the markings align with such speculation. But here's the real question. Would a satellite falling from space cause so little damage? Yes, the car hood is dented, but the rest of the vehicle seems completely intact. For something that would have plummeted from orbit at high speed, you'd expect a lot more destruction, right? The man even returned to the scene the next day to get a closer look and show that this was not staged. So what's really going on here? A legitimate space incident, a carefully crafted hoax, or perhaps something entirely different? Let us know what you think.
No sabe dónde cayó.
If I had a penny for every time someone told me Bigfoot was not real, I would be a billionaire by now. But clips like this are always around to try and prove the big guy exists. This clip was uploaded online by Manuel in Oklahoma. According to him, he woke up one day to go about his normal duties when he saw a large creature in the distance. Intrigued and curious, he drew closer with his camera, rolling, and this is what he captured. Now, when this was uploaded, many were excited, stating that this had to be undeniable proof of Bigfoot's existence. I was also excited about the clip, especially because it's not so blurry. Once it started to play, it was very convincing, until I saw its lips, and then the excitement disappeared. Am I the only one who thinks those lips make the thing look like a costume with a bad face mask, or am I being too critical of the details? Have you ever heard of an eternal flame? And no, I'm not talking about some sci-fi plot here. I'm talking about real-life eternal flames. Fires that somehow have never gone out. There are only 9 eternal flames in the world, and this is one of them, located at the Shale Creek Preserve in western New York. It's hidden inside layers of rock with a small flame continuously burning. What's even more fascinating is that it's supposed to be near a waterfall, but right now it's mostly dry with just a few drops trickling down. It's amazing to think that something like this exists, nature creating something that just keeps burning without any human intervention. What do you all make of this personally? This intriguing footage comes from a man in Utah who noticed an unusual cloud in the evening sky just across the street. At first glance, it appeared to be just another cloud, but upon closer inspection, its shape looked eerily similar to the saucer. What made it even stranger were the flickering lights emanating from the cloud. Oddly enough, this was the only cloud in the area at the time. As the footage zoomed in, things got even more bizarre. An orb appeared at the top of the cloud and slowly descended into it as if merging with the strange formation. Could this be evidence of a cloaked UFO hiding in plain sight? Let's hear your thoughts. A woman was home alone one night when she saw this outside in the dead of night, staring right at her. It was a pair of glowing eyes fixed on her from the darkness. The figure stood there for a while, completely still before backing away into the shadows. When we received the footage, members of the team were very skeptical about its authenticity. Our video editor played around with the footage a bit by enhancing and brightening it up, and once he was done, we could see a face in the clip. That's definitely not normal, and it left the team debating if this was indeed a Bigfoot, Dogman, or Skinwalker. They never came to a conclusion on which of these it actually was, but you've seen the clip, so what do you think? Remember that recent video of a woman attending to what seemed like a ghost customer? Well, we've got another case that's just as eerie. This time it took place at a motor dealership and was captured by the security cameras. In the footage, you can see the glass door swing open and a woman walks over it talking to someone, but there's no one there. She continues interacting as if a customer was standing right in front of her. Moments later, her colleagues rush out from inside the shop and run to her aid. Just as they touch her, she collapses to the ground, completely unconscious. Now, what could be going on here? Is it some kind of invisible force attacking people, or are ghosts just getting bolder, messing with us? Someone shared this really bizarre footage and it's left everyone scratching their heads. In the video, there's a man crouched on the floor and beside him is a fridge with its doors wide open. Everything seems normal until the moment he stands up, accidentally hitting the fridge door with his back. Then all hell breaks loose. The man suddenly goes wild, completely losing it. He starts aggressively ripping the fridge doors off, causing total chaos. What's happening here? Is this some kind of prank, a strange outburst of rage, or is it something else at play that we're not seeing? Some think there's something supernatural going on, perhaps involving a ghost playing pranks on him to his breaking point or getting him possessed. There's not much to go on with using this clip, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Everyone was so excited for the start of 2025, and I'm no exception. The year has, however, started off in a way that has got us all thinking. Take these clips for instance. The Empire State Building, State Capitol, and Washington Monument were all struck by lightning almost simultaneously. When you have lightning striking three of your most important buildings as a nation, you should definitely give it some thought and try to figure it out and see if it's a sign. The US would, however, not have the luxury because a few seconds after these strikes, someone ran into a crowd in New Orleans using a Ford 150. Talk about a strange way to start the year. Anyone who is a mathematician or statistician would tell you the probability of these events happening the way they did is extremely on the low side, but they still occurred. This has got some believers in the paranormal wondering if the lightning strike was a sign of an impending omen. If it was, it looks like it was effective in delivering its message, but we're unable to decode the message. Is 2026 going to be the year where we look to the skies for direction for the unknown future, like our ancestors did? Well, if I want to make a prediction based on this coincidence, I would say yes, but what do you guys say?
Oh, wow. Oh my God. That's damn cool. That's not AI, that's just nature doing its thing. Now, if there's ever proof in the world that nature is beautiful and there's something up there looking down on us, then I think this kind of proves it, don't you? Well, I think I'm going to get going. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, if you got any clips, you got any videos, you got anything that you think you can give us, then please send it to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll stick it on the channel. We might even mention you if that is what you want. Share this with as many people as you can. I'm Steve. Peace out.